Dear international students of Lomonosov Moscow State University who have successfully entered our university in 2021, welcome to our info session, which is devoted to the first steps of a freshman student at Lomonosov Moscow State University. Our university is the oldest and the first one in Russia, but it's also very young, very dynamically developing and international. So let's go! Dear students, so today we're going to discuss the most important issues that each freshman student encounters on their first journey at Lomonosov Moscow State University. How can I adapt to life in the new city and the new country? What should I know before arrival and upon arrival? What are the most important rules that I need to follow? Are there any tips and life hacks on time management? And how can I adapt to life at Lomonosov Moscow State University? You will learn all of this information on our info session. The number of foreign students entering Moscow State University for the first year of study is growing each year. This year, over 2,000 foreign students from all over the world have entered MSU, and each of them is wondering, when can I arrive, how to study, whom should I ask for help, how to prepare for departure to Russia. On this slide, you can see a few steps that you will have to take in order to arrive in Russia in 2021 successfully and start your first year of studies. Step 1. Please read the algorithm of entry on our online portal. Check whether you can enter the territory of Russian Federation and if you need a visa. Step 2. Please contact your faculty to specify the optimal possible date of your arrival, according to your study schedule and to the current regulations. Take into account that issuing date of invitation for visa in class format and schedule at your educational program. Step 3. Send an email to your faculty with all the necessary documents and information attached so that the faculty can issue an invitation and put you on the list. Stay in touch with your faculty. We keep the information on the portal studentin.msu.ru up to date. We inform our students about all the latest changes in entry rules for international students and let them know when new countries open up for entry in the Russian Federation. So keep track on our portal. The academic year at Moscow State University traditionally begins on the 1st of September. Even if you're not able to come to the Russian Federation by this time, you can start your educational process online. Please don't worry, you will not fall behind the other students. You will study all the courses remotely and will be in touch with the teachers. MSU faculties use different educational platforms. Your faculty will provide you with all the necessary information on how to engage in online learning process. Those who have already arrived in Moscow can start their in-person studies. Certain lectures may be given online. Your faculty will introduce you to your class schedule. When visiting the buildings of Moscow State University, please follow all protection measures against the coronavirus infection. Wear masks, keep social distance, and disinfect your hands as often as possible. How to obtain a visa? If you have not received an entry visa yet, please follow this algorithm. Step 1. Please check whether you need a visa to enter Russian Federation by using a link presented on the slide. Step 2. Check the validity of the passport. It must be at least 18 months, year and a half from the date of the start date of your visa term. Step 3. Send your application to the email of the international department of your faculty. Your faculty will send a special application form and tell you which documents you need to submit to issue an invitation. Step 4. You will receive an email invitation when it's ready. Now invitations for all our international students are made only in electronic format, and the invitation will come to your email. Step 5. After receiving the invitation, apply for a visa at the visa center or at the embassy or consulate of the Russian Federation in your country. Step 6. Please be sure to check all the information in the visa is correct. If there is any mistake, for example in the name or date of birth, this will cause problems during border control. So please, if you find a mistake, ask to reissue your visa. Even if you arrive a little later, you will not have any problems when crossing the border. And finally, step 7, please send us a scanned copy of the visa that you received, send it to your faculty, and plan your arrival to Russia. Who can help me in difficult situations? Whom should I ask for help? For further information, please contact the international department of your faculty. Here on the slide there is a QR code to the contacts of the international departments. You can also ask a question on our website, studentin.msu.ru. Studentin is an online portal designed especially for international students. On this website you can see the most useful, necessary and relevant information that will help you be guided and make a decision on the necessary actions. And on the same portal you can ask your question and we will immediately answer it. In case of emergency, for example, if you have problems crossing the border, checking into a hostel, urgent medical questions, you can contact MSU hotline. Here on this slide you can see the phone numbers of our MSU hotline. And of course, we recommend you that you take part in the buddy program and find an assistant friend from among the senior year students of your department. You can apply for buddy on our portal. Here you can see the form, application form for a buddy. Please feel free to ask buddy for help. Several hundred of our volunteers are waiting for international students and will be happy to help you. Your buddy will meet you on the day of your arrival, help you check in the dormitory, help you figure out the class schedule, answer questions about life in Moscow and studies at Moscow State University. And if you study online, your buddy will show you how to use the platform for remote learning and how to find useful materials. We hope that due to the buddy program, you will be able to settle in Moscow University very quickly and find good friends. So how should I prepare for departure? Please contact the faculty of your study to agree on the date of your arrival to Moscow and buy a ticket. It is very important to be in touch with the faculty on all steps of your preparation so that we can also prepare for your arrival and you wouldn't have any problems when crossing the border. Please apply for a voluntary medical insurance policy that will be valid for the entire period of your stay in Russia. Please take a PCR test for COVID-19 no earlier than 72 hours before arriving in Russia and carry a medical certificate in Russian and English with you, confirming a negative PCR test result for COVID-19. If the result is positive, you will be not able to enter Russian Federation. Please send an email to International Department of your faculty providing the information on where you plan to live. In case you plan to live in the dormitory, the faculty should know about it in advance to agree on the particular MSU dormitory for your stay. If you have already found a buddy friend, please contact them and let them know that you arrive. And when preparing for your arrival, please be sure to use our algorithm for international students. You can find it on our portal on the main page of studentin.msu.ru. So here are some rules to follow when arriving to Russian Federation. First, before arriving in the Russian Federation, please fill in the questionnaire for incoming foreign students and make sure you have it at the border crossing point. This questionnaire you can find on our website and fill in advance and bring with you, or you can, if you don't have time for it, you can fill it in at the airport because it will be provided to you. Please also carry a medical certificate with you confirming a negative PCR test result for COVID-19 when boarding on a plane or a train or at the border crossing point. Also get an immigration card on board of the plane or a train or right on the passport control. When you get your migration card, it is a small form. You need to fill it out in Russian. And in case you don't speak Russian at all, it is allowed to fill in Latin letters in accordance with the data indicated in the passport. If you need help filling out your migration card, please contact the passport control officer. The completed form of the migration card must be shown at the passport control at the border crossing point. And be sure to keep your migration card in your passport throughout all your stay in Russia. It is a very important document. This slide contains important information for the citizens of CIS countries. If you arrive in the Russian Federation by plane and you're a citizen of the CIS countries that are mentioned on this slide, then when crossing the border of the Russian Federation, you need to show your negative PCR test and to use a special app which is called COVID-19 Free Travel and upload your test in this app. You can learn more about the COVID-19 Free Travel app on our website. There are all the instructions and screenshots of the app. So, how can I get to the place of my residence? At the airport, you can withdraw cash from any ATM for the first time, and we recommend that you withdraw a little bit of money, maybe 3,000–4,000 rubles. Card payments are accepted in all stores, so you don't need to withdraw large amounts. You can, of course, arrive by taxi. There are popular applications which are listed on this slide. We also have Uber, but it's called Uber Russia. It's not connected with the international Uber app. A trip to the airport from the airport to the city center by taxi will be approximately 1,500 to 2,000 rubles. You can pay it in cash, or you can attach your bank card to a personal account in the application. You can, of course, also arrive by Aero Express train and then by metro. As you can see on the slide, there are trains that are going from each of the airports, and you can see the corresponding stations on the slide. Please remember that wearing masks and gloves on public transport in Moscow is mandatory. Detailed information about the public transport in Moscow is available on our portal. You can easily find it. And of course, you can make an appointment with your buddy friend in advance and ask him to meet you at the Aero Express station or at the convenient metro station. A little bit about accommodation and check-in in the dormitory. If you plan to stay in our dorm, please be sure to inform the International Department of the Faculty about the date of the planned arrival. We are planning the arrival of all our international students in advance, and we do our best to make you feel comfortable and convenient when settling in the dorm. You will receive a confirmation letter from the faculty. Please download this document on your phone and print it out if possible. You will need this document during the check-in in the dormitory. Please note, this is very important, upon arrival in Moscow, please go immediately to the place of your residence, whether it's dormitory or a rented apartment or a hotel. And once you arrive, you do not need to go to your faculty. You first need to isolate yourself until you have your second PCR test. You can find MSU dormitory addresses on our website by using this link or by using the QR code on the slide. So what to do if you get lost and you still have some questions and you feel a little bit confused? We really recommend you to sign up to the most popular social media in Russia, vk.com, and contact our hotline for students or stay in touch with volunteers from MSU Student Union International Centers. You can see all the contacts on the slide. But of course, social media is very important. All our students are using some kind of social media. Most of them are using VK. You can socialize, you can discuss academic issues, you can discuss any practical issues with them using this social media. And we remind you once again that in case of any emergency, for the urgent cases, we have MSU hotline, and you can call us or text us by SMS or by WhatsApp. We will reply to you as soon as possible. So now let's discuss what you should do after arrival. Important information is that within 72 hours or 3 days after arriving in Russia, you have to take a second PCR test for COVID-19. So first test you take before you depart, and second test you take after arrival in Russia. All Moscow airports have laboratories where you can take such a test. And if you take the fastest test, the results will come to you in 2-3 hours. If you take a little bit slower test, it will be ready in 24 hours. But in any case, you do not need to stay in the laboratory and waiting for your test result. You will receive it to your email address, so you can go to the place of your stay. You can also take the test the next day while in the dormitory or rented apartment. In this case, before you receive the test, you need to self-isolate in the place of your stay. You need to call a doctor for a visit in your place of residence. For example, if you have the medical insurance, which we mentioned earlier, it includes taking 1 PCR test for COVID-19 within the Moscow limits, within the border of Moscow city. So you can contact your insurance company to arrange for a doctor to visit you at the place of your residence. It is very important to comply with the self-isolation policy at the place of your stay until you get the second negative PCR test result for COVID-19. If your second PCR test is not ready yet, you can self-quarantine at MSU dorm. Having obtained the second PCR test result for COVID-19, please send it to the email of International Department of your faculty with the copies of the first and second medical certificates with 2 negative tests. And after receiving the second negative test for COVID-19, you will be able to start in-person training and settle in the MSU dormitory for permanent residence. It might be that your self-isolation will be in the one building of dormitory and your permanent residence will be a different building. And if you show any signs of illnesses, if you feel unwell, please immediately inform the International Department of your faculty and a local hospital and call a doctor immediately. You can contact your insurance company and a doctor will visit you at the place of your accommodation. So please stay isolated until you recover and follow the doctor's advice. So now some useful tips for you on how to deal with the day-to-day matters living in Moscow for the first time and especially during the period of your self-isolation. In Moscow you can order absolutely everything online: medicine, personal care products, groceries, ready-made meals. So we recommend you that you, during your isolation period, use these delivery services that are presented on the slide. Delivery Club and Yandex Food. Also, you can find a lot of tips and websites of useful internet stores on our portal for foreign students, studentin.msu.ru. And you can always ask your buddy for advice on how to deal with these day-to-day matters and contact Student Union MSU hotline. Now a little bit more about the migration rules and registration rules. This is very important information. Please note that you must be registered at the migration service at the place of your accommodation. For example, in the dormitory or at the address of actual residence in the rented apartment or hostel. The deadline is 7 working days after crossing the border of the Russian Federation. The consequences of violating this law are very serious. The imposition of a fine up to 7,000 rubles, and which is much worse, expulsion from Russia and a ban of entry into the Russian Federation for up to 3 years. So, if you live in the dormitory, please write on the day of your arrival in Russia or on the next day the latest. Send an email to International Department of your faculty with all the necessary information. Take a picture of your migration card, of your passport with the stamp of border control and send it to the International Department on your faculty. And in case you plan to live in a rented apartment, please discuss this issue in advance with the landlord. You must receive the registration card. And if your landlord doesn't want to do it, then you need to find another place of accommodation. And in case there are any problems with the registration at the rented apartment, please also discuss it with your faculty and they will offer you a solution. We would also like to draw a special attention to health insurance related issues. You must purchase a voluntary medical insurance that will be valid in the Russian Federation for the entire period of your study at Moscow State University. Please note that a number of countries require an insurance policy when you are obtaining a visa, but they usually require it for only 3 months. Your study period is much longer. It's at least a semester. For most of you, it's a year and even more than that. And you need to obtain medical insurance for the whole period of your stay. The amount of insurance coverage must be at least 2.5 million rubles, which is approximately 30,000 euro. So please know that you need a medical insurance policy not only for the first 3 months, but also for the entire period of your stay. And there is also a little exclusion for some of you who comply with this federal law mentioned on the slide and or international treaties. And if you have a compulsory medical insurance, state insurance in the Russian Federation, then you don't need a voluntary medical insurance policy. And a lot of you are asking some questions. What if I get COVID in Russia? The COVID-19 illness treatment for foreign citizens is carried out at the expense of public funds. So it is free for you at any case. It might be that your medical insurance does not include COVID-19 treatment, but don't worry, you will be able to call a doctor and you will be able to call an ambulance if you really don't feel well. So we, of course, will take care of our international students. Okay, now moving to a little bit more fun part of this presentation, a few tips on how to meet new friends. Of course, you can contact our Student Union International Center and follow their news on social media. Of course, once again, we really recommend you to apply for a buddy on the website if you haven't done it yet. You can keep track of the upcoming events and activities that you can join on the website for our international students, Student-In. You can also learn more about the opportunities for study and life at Moscow State University by participating in the events of the Adaptation Week for international students. Some events will be online, some will be offline, so there will be something that you definitely can join. And these events will be on the weekends and on the dates when you don't have classes. You can also join a student club or student organization and take an active part in university-wide and faculty events organized for you throughout the year. So a little bit more detailed information, what's in store for you at the Adaptation Week. On this slide you can see the schedule of the main events, be it a Welcome Quest game, student organizations fair, or a sightseeing tour around Moscow. In addition, faculty's events are here for you, where you can learn everything about study process and student life at your faculty. Now I'm going to tell you in detail about the university-wide events of the Adaptation Week. So, the first big in-person event takes place this Sunday on September the 5th. This is a quest game which is called I Am an MSU Student. As you know, MSU campus in Vorobyovo Gory has striking proportions. It's really huge and has over 100 buildings. In addition to educational buildings, there are sports facilities, libraries, unique monuments, and even a whole botanical garden on its territory. So during our game, you can meet new friends and get to know the campus. You will need to solve the riddles associated with the Moscow State University, learn to be guided around the campus, and arrive at right points. Several exciting team missions are also waiting for you. Please register on a special portal. You can sign up as a team if you already made some friends and you already have a team, or you can participate individually. In this case, we will team you with other guys. So join this event, it's going to be very interesting. Then, on the 8th of September, we invite you to an online fair of student organizations. There are more than 100 different student organizations and clubs in Moscow State University. Some of them are public, sports, cultural, environmental organizations, and they're all ready to open their doors to our international students. So, in order that you don't get lost in this diversity, we decided to organize an online fair for you. On this fair, representatives of student associations of Moscow University will speak to you, will present their organizations, and they will tell you how you can join their clubs and what needs to be done for this purpose. An online fair is a great way to choose what you really like. We are waiting for you. And next Sunday, on 12th of September, our lecturers are inviting you to a sightseeing tour of Moscow, the capital of Russia. The tour will be in 3 languages: Russian, English and Chinese. So in the registration form you can choose the language of the excursion. Moscow is one of the most beautiful cities in Russia and by far the largest one. It is impossible to get around Moscow in just one day. So on our excursion you will get acquainted with the main sites of our capital and experience the charm of the Moscow, a city with an ancient history which turns 874 years this year. So our sightseeing tour on 12th of September is just the first event in a large series of bus and walking tours for international students of Moscow State University. Here is the link on this website to our excursions portal. Please register on this portal to all the excursions that you want to attend, to all the events that you're interested in. We have a big program for you. So, a whole academic year lies ahead, which means that many events await you. And they're not only about studying and research, but also there are a lot of university-wide and faculty workshops, seminars, thematic meetings, career days, excursions, meetings with successful graduates, in-person and online events. We promise that your stay at Moscow State University, that your study period will be very fascinating. Keep track of updates in our event calendar at studentin.msu.ru. Our website is in 3 languages, so there is an English version and you can see everything in English. In conclusion, I would like to remind you once again about our basic safety rules. Wearing masks at Moscow State University is mandatory. We recommend that you also wear gloves when in the rooms of Moscow State University. Put 1.5 meters of distance between yourself and other people and monitor your health. Moscow State University is happy to meet our new international students. We have prepared a lot of exciting and interesting things for you in this academic year. So please chat with us today in our online virtual chat. Please text us, send us emails anytime, we will reply to you. Please find new friends, contact our buddies and our student union, and participate, of course, in the events of Adaptation Week and other faculty and university-wide events. We wish you great success and good luck in your studies and in your stay at Moscow State University.